Welcome to my GSPN Live. You're here with your host, Robert Brown.
And Jose Rodriguez.
We've got a very exciting show for you, but before we jump into it, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Garden Grocer. If you're in the Disney Resort area, go to www.gardengrocer.com. Place an order for snacks, drinks, foods, anything to make your vacation easier, save time, money, and energy, and everything will be delivered to your resort at the time of your arrival. Again, that is www.gardengrocer.com, and it'll be at your place at your arrival.
All right.
So let's jump into it. We've got some more NCAA baseball to talk about. College World Series is set, and we do have a team from Florida. Before we get to the one that advanced, Stetson, they hosted the regionals in DeLand. They had a great run. Logan had a great run pitching. Getting drafted, he'll be hopefully moving on. I think he will be.
First round, you would have hoped that he would sign that big contract they have for him. They have a big pool. Not only that, he pitched in the game against North Carolina, and up until the 4th, 5th inning, it was a 1-1 game that North Carolina went ahead and did what North Carolina does. They're just...
And they are the 7th ranked team in the country, so they pulled it out.
Stetson being a, I don't want to call it a small university, but...
It is smaller.
Yeah, it is smaller compared, to the big names of UNC or a UF, Florida, et cetera, and all these other universities that were in the championship for the NCAA baseball classic that took place, this past week. But again, they went far. Kudos to them, and also, their ace. Yeah. He went all out for them, winning 11 games, and went as far as he went against such a big powerhouse team as Chapel Hill, North Carolina,
and they followed to them 7-5. Now the team in Florida that did advance, the number 1 team in the country. They've had some really shaky games recently, but they find a way to advance each time. The first game, they beat Auburn pretty handily. They played this game on Saturday, June 9th. They won 8-2. The second game in this series was June 10th. Auburn defeated them 3-2. Yeah. And Monday, June 11th, this game actually went into extra innings. So the one that's for all the marbles, they gave you a really good game.
It was a walk-off home run, man. It was beautiful.
Austin Langworthy gave you the walk-off home run to give you a 3-2 win for UF, and your defending champs will be moving on to Omaha to go to the College World Series.
It was actually pretty fun. You saw right there against those two teams, 2 players that were actually drafted in the first round. With Casey Mize from the Detroit Tigers, first one overall, and again Jonathan India by the Reds, playing with UF. It was.
And he was like number 5.
It was about number 6. Yeah, it was a number 6 pick. So it was, something. It was like a warm up for them to experience what's going to be like in the next level for them to go into the pros and get a taste of what's it all going to be like every single day. It's going to be like a College World Series every single day.
And the UF is defending champ, so Jonathan India, they're used to the pressure. They could hopefully win this back-to-back like Golden State just did. So let's drop down to the NHL Stanley Cup Finals and tell you about Ovechkin. He actually didn't play particularly well in the finals, but the Washington Capitals in 5 games defeated the Vegas Golden Knights. Game 5 score was 4-3, and the Capitals. It was, but Capitals get their first Stanley Cup championship. Vegas Golden Knights had a phenomenal season. Their first year in the NHL, they get all the way to the championship. They had home court advantage going into this. Really wish they could have won, but the Capitals get their first win, and someone like Ovechkin, who has been there for the past 10, 12 years, giving everything to this club. He still, I think, has the Stanley Cup trophy. He's walking around, doing everything with it. He's on the subway with it. He's at baseball games.
Yeah, it's good to see such a franchise player get, the biggest reward that he deserves overall. If you want to put it into a basketball comparison, it'll be kind of like his career will be kind of like a Charles Barkley career. Such a great franchise player, good player, Hall of Famer, but still without a ring.
But he got his.
And he got his. Sorry about that, Charles.
That's a very good comparison, though. Yeah.
So that would have been the story for Ovechkin. But then kudos to him, and not only that, but you also got to give a lot of props to the Vegas Golden Knights, because only that their first year in the bigs, they make it all the way to the top 2 teams that are left and into the finals and lose in 5 games. But not only that, it's still pretty good. LeBron lost in 4, so
they got there.
They got there. That's what matters.
We will start talking about basketball a little bit. We've had one of I actually had a team that won by 118. We played against a junior college. So it was like a junior college D2 team.
Yeah.
So I don't count that. This is actually the biggest win I've ever seen in basketball. And it's the United States under 18 team playing against another national under 18, country's team.
It was a practice, man.
It was, but this is the FIBA America Championships for under 18. It's probably going to come down to us in Canada like it does every year. But our first round game against Panama was a practice. Final score was 118 to 26. Yeah, it was bad. It was 43-0 at the end of the first, 70-8 at halftime, 99-17 at the end of the third quarter, and 118-26 at the end of the game.
I think in the last quarter when they score all the points, I think USA felt a little bad and just let them get their points so it wasn't a blowout.
I mean, they still only let them score 9 points. The first quarter, as we said, it was 43-0. Second quarter scoring was 27 for USA, and Panama scored 8. The third quarter, USA came out with 29. Panama had a good quarter for them, scoring 9. And they had the same amount. They had 9 in the fourth quarter as well. USA dropped 10 points off the third quarter score, only scoring 19. As if it mattered, they handed them the worst loss I've ever.
I think that's probably the worst one in history ever.
Yeah, especially in this competition, it is.
I mean, it's for qualified for the FIBA. Like going out for soccer right now. This is biggest teams all over the world.
Yep. And this will be for most of the North and South America. It will be us in Canada. They've got guys like Nimhard and some other players that went to Mount Bird. Yeah. So they'll definitely have their talent. For the players, a UNC commit, Armando Baycoat had 17 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. A University of Illinois commit, Kwamdim Dosumo, he had 12 points and 5 assists.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, thank you.
Dosumo.
Alec White had 8 points and 7 assists. A very balanced game for him. A 6'3" point guard who hasn't committed anywhere yet. He'll hopefully soon be able to pick a school, really anywhere he wants in the country. Kentucky commit Tyrese Maxwell had 12 points. And an Indiana commit, Tracy Davis, also had 12 points. Those are the players that led America. But there was, plenty of players had double figures. Plenty of players had 8
if you score
points.
118 against 26, I'm pretty sure even the bench had
5 points. The coach might even have 5 points.
That's funny.
But sticking in basketball, taking a look around the country real quick. Jose Davila, a guy that works here for us, did an article on Anthony Simmons. Simmons went to IMG, decided not to go to college last year, and has decided to stay in the 2018 NBA draft. So please go on our website, myGSPN.com, and look at that article we have for you and learn a little bit about Anthony Simmons. He's a early second round pick, maybe a late first round, depending on what he's able to do in this pre-draft.
You might be surprised. Look at the baseball draft. I was surprised at who went, obviously, I knew it was going number 1 with Casey Mize, but other than that, I was surprised who went, number 7, number 6, and it just goes like that. So stay tuned for that and check that out on my GSPN.
And with him keeping his name in there, it's at the period now where any guy that was in college who hadn't signed an agent was thinking about coming back, they've either pulled their name out and the field has gotten a little bit smaller, or like Anthony Simmons, like Luka Doncic from over in Europe for Real Madrid.
Yeah, he's coming. He's going in the first round.
To keep their names in the draft. So we'll see how it goes for these players. Doncic is in a slightly better situation. He can decide whether he wants to play.
And not only that, he's already making millions over there in Europe.
So like Sacramento, I know is one team they're talking about. If they decide to move up and draft him with like the 2nd or 3rd pick, he'll decide, I'm not going. I'll stay. I'll let Madrid keep my rights, and instead of
until he goes number 1 overall,
staying the next year, I'll just re-sign with them and stay for a couple more years.
Yeah, which is not a bad move.
Not
if you're making money in euros.
Yeah. And he's leading their team, winning the championship, winning the EuroLeague championship, EuroLeague MVP. So, congratulations to him. Final thing in basketball, the important thing for me here, NBA Finals. The season is over. I was really hoping for a game last night, but Golden State took care of business the way they were supposed to. Game 4, they came out with a 108-84 victory, and this game was ugly. Cleveland looked like they didn't want to be there. They
didn't care.
They gave the game away basically in the third quarter. Golden State was running up and down them, and with when you look at these scores, LeBron only had 23. He did have 8.7 rebounds, but for someone who, he was scoring 40 points, 50 points. He knew he has to do that to get a win.
Not only that, he was at the end of the game. He had a conference, and he said that his hand was fractured.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true. Many people think it is, but other than that, you've been playing with a fractured hand in the finals, and you've still been dropping, triple doubles, 20-point games, 50-point games.
Yeah,
that still says enough for me.
And he knows he has to do that to win. He didn't even go out shooting the ball enough to score like that. So I didn't think that he even wanted to win. Kevin Love.